Welcome to the She Wins podcast. This is your host, Heather Sumlin, and this is your AHA episode for the week. I had the honor of interviewing Dr. Brooke Mills and Dr. Stephanie Ryan. They are a mother-daughter team. I have known them for over a decade, and I am obsessed. I absolutely love getting to see them. They actually came and visited me not too awful long ago. We went to Billy Bob's in Fort Worth, and we watched some bull riding that they'd never seen before. That was super fun. So my aha moments from the episode, there were several things that kind of came to mind to me. And one of the things that comes to mind is that all too often people make assumptions about title holders because of maybe the way that they look, and make an assumption that, maybe they haven't really been through anything challenging. When I met Brooke, it was before her concussion, so I've known her pre-concussion and post-concussion. There's a huge difference in the way in which she was able to communicate post-concussion. She was able to graduate high school in 3 years anyway, even though she read below 8th grade reading level, below 8th grade reading level for a really long time, but she was able to push through. And one of the things that she talked about were some of the things that caused her to struggle when she was younger. One was the concussion that she endured when she was 14, which caused her to no longer be able to dance. So she had to change her talent. And then another thing that happened was her father had uncontrolled PTSD. And she mentions in the episode about how when she should have been learning to read, she was learning to hide. So she was hiding from him in certain scenarios. Instead of going to him saying, "Daddy, can you read with me?" or "Can you help me with my homework?" she was hiding in her room, afraid to communicate. And I think that sometimes when we're looking at these people who have lived these extraordinary lives and they have these wonderful opportunities, she's going to Miss America, and we make an assumption that, well, they probably can't relate to me because they haven't been through some of the things that I've gone through. More often than not, they have. They've been through something challenging, something big, and you can never tell what someone else has been through based on how they look on the outside. And so that's just an aha moment for me as a reminder that we all have some sort of struggle that we're going through. We have something that we're kind of working through, and we're not telling the world about it. And so the next time you meet somebody who is super successful, remember that adversity is an effective teacher, and they might be successful because they've been through something, they've overcome something. My dad has this saying. He says overcoming is the currency of champions, because in order to actually be successful in life, you have to overcome so many obstacles that are in your path. So that's the first one. Another one that comes to mind is, we really talked about it more in the Patreon episode, specifically for pageant, but she has done a lot of outside the box type of training. She hasn't just trained for each phase of competition. She trains for the job itself, and she looks for opportunities in order to do that. And I think thinking outside the typical box is so incredibly beneficial. And one of the things that she talked about was doing public service announcements. And there's opportunity to do that. You can present public service announcements for radio stations. That helps you with your communication skills. It helps you with your exposure, and it helps you with connecting with whatever organization that you're doing your PSA for. So she gives way more details on how to do that and why in the Patreon episode, but it was something that triggered in me this need to think outside the typical box, which is something that I feel like I do on a regular basis. I'm looking for new and creative ways to help my clients. I create new and creative workshops for them to do. One of the reasons why I've done the Patreon the way that I have is to give a creative outlet and a way for people to gain information at an affordable price. So think outside the typical box to get what you need to get done. And lastly, I love the mother-daughter duo. And something that I've noticed throughout all of the years that I've been a coach, whether it's interview or mental coach, is that a mom can say almost the exact same words to her daughter, and I can say the exact same thing, and it's received differently from me than it is from them. And it's not because the information wasn't valuable or that I'm, more qualified or anything like that. It's that we don't receive things from our mom quite in the same way that we receive it from someone else. And so if you're a parent and you're working with your kid and you feel like, God, I can give them everything that they need, I'm here to tell you, you can. But if they're not ready and eager to receive what you have to say, find that individual, find that professional, that resource that speaks directly to your child. I've had to do it in my life with my own kids, you probably need to do it with your kids too. So even if you're an authority in a certain field, you may have to find someone who actually can tell your kid the exact same thing, but they're going to receive it better from someone who's not you. So that's something that I just felt like was important for parents to know. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean that you're saying it wrong. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything other than what is right and okay and just and amazing. Your kid's just not listening. And that's okay. That's okay. It happens to all of us. And if we go back and we look, did I listen to my parents? No. I didn't even know what my dad did until I was 25. Like, I didn't really even know that my father I knew he was Olympic champion. I knew he taught people all over the world mental training skills, but I, for some reason, thought they didn't apply to me. Ridiculous. Doesn't even make any logical sense. But then when I was ready to receive what it was that he was teaching, then I learned. Then I applied it, and then my life changed. So when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Thank you so much. If you want to join the Patreon membership, feel free to do so. I have a link in the description. I would love to have you join our little family at Patreon. Thank you so much. Have a blessed rest of your day.